People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, Arsenal have just defeated Sheffield United 2-1. Not gonna lie, I'm happy, people. We bounced back from the defeat against Liverpool. You know, after the international break, the fixtures we have, you know, we've got Leicester, City, and Man United. And I actually think in order it's Man City first, then Leicester, then United. I could be wrong. So we approach an important period, and I'm pretty sure, without talking about the individual context of the teams, the teams we faced and how we've played in those games, and the players alike, both individually and as a collective. Start of the season, if you said from the first 4 games, 3 wins, the only defeat coming against Liverpool, I'm sure many fans would take that. Now, like I said, we won 2-1, you know, it was at Sheffield United, regardless of their form. We knew they were going to up it against us. We know they're a tough team. And, you know, if Sheffield play like how they played, their season can turn around. We know with losing to us, they've had 6 defeats and whatnot. Well, 7 defeats, 6 prior. And we also know they struggle to score goals. So the critics will say it's not the biggest of games to see anything about our team. But I think it again highlighted many things. I think it highlighted the good, bad and the ugly. Not really in that we was tested by Sheffield and whatnot, but game management, you know. It was a bit of a nervy end towards the end. You know, it was a cheap goal to concede from a Sheffield perspective, well, Arsenal perspective on Sheffield. Statistically, I'm pretty sure I heard Sky Sports say we only took 2 shots in that second half. When you score 2 goals, it looks precision, you know, it looks like you're a sharp shooter in these things. When you don't take shots like on Monday, you know, it looks like you lack bravery. It looks like you can't create and whatnot. And I think, you know, again, today highlighted our inability to create, and it also highlighted the need to take more shots. Every game, one current theme has been we're not creating enough and we're not shooting. We can do it. I think we need to buy players. If we didn't know already, we need to buy players. You know, 2 midfielders, 1 now because we're getting desperate. But at the same time, I do think the players, again, it's down for Arteta to coach it because he's the coach. But it's down to the players, you know. And like I said, I don't think we was playing bad early on against Sheffield. But I don't think we was playing with that cutting-edge quality to break them down, really put them to the sword, or really create uncertainty in that team specific, that defence, who has been shipping goals, who have been losing, have been failing to keep clean sheets. A bit of that is down to needing new players and the ethos. But I'm not being funny. You've got Willian there, you know, regardless of what you think about him, he's a Premier League veteran. He's a fairly creative player. You've got Bukayo Saka there. You've got Tierney as a fullback. Bellerin might not be anyone's cup of tea, but he gets forward sort of thing. You know, you've got Ceballos behind him to create. You've got Aubameyang, you know. You've got a sharp young shooter in Eddie Nketiah. There's enough on that field to play a bit more. So again, I think it's down to the coaching, but it's down to the players, because clearly Arteta in the second half told you, like, listen, formation change, and that helped a bit when we went 4 at the back and Willian and Saka were more swapping more frequently and whatnot. We looked a bit better. There was a reaction, and a bit of that is Arteta telling them. But in the second half, especially when we scored, you saw 1-2s, you saw movement, you saw everybody wanting the ball. Personally, that's how I want to start games. That's how we should have started against Sheffield, coming to our place. I think we, you know, if we look at it without emotion, considering Sheffield's form, we probably allowed them to get way too much confidence, because we barely tested Ramsdale, maybe the Aubameyang shot towards the end of the half, you know. We didn't test them, and the longer it goes at 0-0, you're going in at half time, Chris Wilder, like anyone, and saying, yo, listen, you're 0-0, you know, you've done better against, you know, you've let yourselves down against Wordsize. You're coming to one of the, you know, you're coming to Arsenal, and you're doing quite well. You can win this. The longer it stays 0-0, the more confidence you get. And to be fair, in the second half, there were times Sheffield looked like they were going to try and get that 2-2. You know, there was a Buki moment where Maitland-Niles chested it down. I think we did well when, like I said, man, we need to be consistently more creative, because I saw elements of it. I'm not going to say we can fix these problems in-house with the calibre of players we have, because I don't think we can with the midfielders. But we do have enough to play a bit more better in an attacking sense, because I saw it in the second half. The players were sorting it out. I think we need players. Clearly we need players. We got away with it today. We won. Don't get it twisted. It didn't look like we was going to get nicked for 3 points. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying now is the time to really, you know, get on board with the transfers, because we're not playing again into the international break. And I think, honestly, you know, if Arteta, Kroenke, not that he would care, Edu, you know, existing players, fans alike, you can't look at that Arsenal team and be confident for top 4. And let me reiterate, I am more confident I'm confident in Arteta's ability to make more of a fight at the top 4 than getting blown out how we did last season out of the water. I believe that. I just think we will fall short. You know, it's down for Arteta to make us a bit more smell blood a bit more quicker, dominate possession, actually do something with possession, because, many will say, like in the first half, I think we looked good, people wanted the ball, but there's no tempo to it. The tempo could have been higher. You can put the team under more cautious pressure and whatnot, and we can only do that, in my opinion, with better players. And I feel, like I said today, when you have 2 shots in the second half allegedly and you score 2 goals, it looks great. But I think most common fans understand that that's not sustainable. It's not. We've been here under Emery where we're saying we're effective, we're shooting less, we're winning, we're turning it around in second half. When they're failing to understand, if you've got to turn it around in the second half the time, that means we're setting out wrong collectively as a club, And obviously, if you're not shooting enough, when it happens in games where you're marked out, you look toothless. You don't shoot, you don't score. I don't think we really put Ramsdale under enough pressure considering the context of Sheffield. And I think this game kind of showed the same old story. These problems have persisted. The harsh critics will say the last 2 times we've won in the Premier League, we've needed, I won't go as far as to say luck, because we've made our luck, but we've needed a sort of, for want of better words, luck. So I just want to see us get involved in the transfers now, people. I was happy as well because I saw a reaction from Nicolas Pepe as well. Obviously, in a positive way, he got to stick 2 fingers up at Arteta. That's what you wanted as a manager. I'm going to bring you off the bench and you're going to go off and score and be involved in another of the goals, which he did. He looked good. It was Xhaka's clearance / Pepe's fail to win some sort of header, which led to McGoldrick's chance. We weren't closing them down enough, McGoldrick. But yeah, and I think it's good competition between Willian and Pepe now, or just anyone. Bukayo Saka's not been necessarily used in that role, but you've got Saka competing, you've got Aubameyang competing. Martinelli went back, as well as playing up front, will be competing for a wide option. Nelson might go out on loan and is probably last in the pecking order, but you've got him. You've got Willian and Pepe specifically. Now, if you're Pepe, you're not happy. Your last 2 starts have been in the cup. When you have come off the bench, you're getting 20 minutes and all these sort of things. You're a 70-odd man. You should, on one hand, I don't know what he's doing on the training ground, but you should want to play. So you stuck 2 fingers up. You stuck 2 positive fingers up. United just hit the post. Sorry, people. You stuck 2 positive middle fingers up at Arteta. He's making his job harder. Whether you like Willian or not, I don't want Arteta to turn on him. But if we use it now, okay, cool. He was spot on against Fulham. Willian was sick against Fulham. He got his assist. He scored. If I remember correctly, he did his thing. He might not have scored. I could be wrong on that. Against in his next game, was it West Ham? He was a bit shaky. Liverpool, he was atrocious in my opinion. Today, second half he reacted. First half he was anonymous. I actually think he should have got subbed in the second half. Personally, I know he was involved in the goal, but he's anonymous. So I don't want Arteta to lose faith in people, but at the same time, what I believe, I like that we've got good competition in the wide ranks, because if you're not doing your job, your position's under threat. And Arteta's got a question to ask. Pepe's looked sharp in this game. Williams looked a bit iffy. Time will tell and things will change. We've got a long time to prepare for City, but surely Pepe's played his way into those hands. He's done more in his minutes today than I feel Willian did when he started. And to be fair, Willian did play good in the second half. Aubameyang, Willian, and obviously Pepe looked very good. I say Willian, you saw Bukayo Saka and Willian swapping out in and out of each other's positions, so it looked quite good. So I think there's a question to ask, and that's what you want to see from Pepe. I just want to see some transfers, man, because I saw Ceballos play very well today. Imagine there's a more creative man, because I feel that's one problem with Arsenal. Whether it's going to be Ceballos, whether it's been Xhaka, whether it's been Ozil, whether it's been Santi and people before him, one problem I feel with Arsenal is, if you get one creative man, I think you need to play someone that's, you need to play Ceballos with another creative man, because when it's just one creative outlet, you always see they're dropping ridiculously deep. Even Joe Willock's done that when he started in the Cup this season. So there needs to be a fix to us creative wise, or in relation to our creativity. We need to shoot more, and this very much follows on from the last few games we've played. The Pepe one is a conundrum, and hopefully something gets done in the transfer market, man, because I like Ceballos. Is Ceballos going to maintain this sort of performance? I like El Nene, but El Nene's style of play is limited, and he's not a guy that's going to break down the team. And as much as I like Ceballos, he's not our player permanently. Again, I don't think he can be recalled in January, but just say if there is a way to bend those rules, and he wanted to be, and either way, he's not here long term. Guendouzi's been frozen out. He's not a part of this. Mesut Ozil is not going to be part of this. So there's real question marks in terms of our midfield options, just bodies available available in that pivot, and who's going to be our creative outlet, whether it's going to be in that 10 or within that pivot, people, because, you know, Partey and Aouar, based on what we hear, doesn't appear promising. There's question marks over several players. Torreira is not a creative outlet, but again, like I said, in terms of midfield bodies, he has now completed his medical part of the loan move to Atletico, in the sense of he's done his medical test. There's a lot of rumours saying he will be sold or confirmed at Atletico when they move a player on. So we're down to our bare bones. So on one hand, I'd be inclined to believe the club are not going to do things and sanction certain things without the appropriate bodies. But on the same hand, you know, who knows, anything is possible. So we'll have to see, man. But I'm happy for Pepe today. I'm keen to see what we do after the international break. But prior to that, we need to get something going, because we won today. We didn't really look in trouble, apart from being nervous, just holding a 2-1 lead. You know, we haven't got the credentials to get top 4 with these existing player options, really and truly. You know, and this ain't me speaking in relation to this game, really. It's just based on what we've seen over these 4 games so far in the Premier League, people. On that note, though, I've got nothing more to add, so I'm going to get out of here. It's always a pleasure. BG.